Jeff's about to get down there.
We'll be sleeping in the cold below. Sleeping in the cold below. You ready?
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Peter Barber here, professional opera singer and music producer. And today, for the first time, we're going to be checking out VoicePlay's latest release. This is Sleeping in the Cold Below, Warframe a cappella featuring Omar Cardona. It's been a while since I've been here with VoicePlay, and just a shout out to the, some of the original fans to this channel who really hopped on when I first started doing analysis videos about 2.5 years ago. You guys have been there from the start. You were there with Jeff and Home Free and VoicePlay. Summer of 2021 is when it started. So shout out to you guys. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for supporting. And I might go a little deeper today in the analysis because I know the people of that cohort are down for it and are down for the deep analysis. So we'll see. But if I feel like taking liberties with the breakdown, I'm going to. Otherwise, guys, sit back, relax, enjoy. Hope you learned something, and let's get into it.
So it's into the void now, me girls and me boys. From mother's hands we go. We'll be sailing to the sun till the voyage is done. Then we'll be sleeping in the cold below. Sleeping in.
Jeff's about to get down there. We got some nice perk from Lane. Heavy on the pitched drum. Those kinds of sounds. To kick us off here, I don't know what this song is from. It sounds very much like a sea shanty, but they're in space. So I'm very confused. I don't really understand the context or anything, but nevertheless, still going to absolutely slap. I'm gonna shift this camera just a hair. There we go. Very nice. Get those lines nice and parallel. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's take it back. There's a lot of loose cheeks, loose lips from Lane here. He's allowing the sound to kind of jostle his whole mouth there, and that's giving that kind of all those sounds. And then he's got a little bit of the deeper stuff happening with those pitched drum sounds, like I mentioned a minute ago.
So it's into the void now, me girls and me boys. From mother's hands we go. We'll be sailing to the sun till the voyage is done. Then we'll be sleeping in the cold below.
So he's already starting down to a D2 here. Jeff's singing nice and easy. Usually, at the very start of a song, we'll hear Jeff singing really intimately, really breathy. And this one, I guess, because it's probably a little more of an intense song, he's already starting with a little bit more power, a little more resonance in his voice than we normally get right at the start of something. Sounds great. Those low Ds sound great, and it also sounds like he's about to descend down into the basement.
To the void now, me girls and me boys. From mother's hands we go. We'll be sailing to the sun till the voyage is done. Then we'll be sleeping in the cold below. Sleeping in the cold below.
Our sailing ship is for the hard and the quick.
Yeah, G1, pure chest voice. You can feel right when he gets down to the bottom, he shifts into that more compressed, over-darkened version of the sound, that really freakish, bassy sound that we've enjoyed so much from Jeff over the years. He keeps it pretty relaxed and about down through low A, and then switches it right on the last note to give a really big, beefy G1. I've realized I don't have my pit vipers, so I'm going to go grab those, and I'll be back in 1 minute. And we're back. I almost never use these anymore because I cover so much more music now than just bass music, and so even when I'm watching songs with great bass singers like Jeff, sometimes I forget to bring them along. But a big fat sustained low G from Jeff. It's been a long time. Let's take it back. This video is kind of about roots. I was mentioning that at the beginning. So let's bring it back. Let's give Jeff a nice pit viper status for that big sustained solo G.
Till the voyage is done, then we'll be sleeping in the cold below. Sleeping in the cold below.
Our sailing ship is for the hard and the quick. We roll our load. be made or there's hell to pay when you're sleeping in the cold below, below.
So we just had a little Omar and Jeff duet after Jeff's sustained low G for a minute. With Jeff, I think, still continuing to sing low Gs. Well, let's run that back.
Sleeping in the cold below.
Our sailing ship is for the hard and the quick. We roll our load and go. There's a living to...
Yeah, so Jeff has a line of low Gs following that, while Omar takes the start of the solo. And then we get in, then the whole group comes in here. Really cool. Seth, they've got cool, like, astronaut gear. It's so counter to what the song sounds like. It doesn't sound spacey at all. It sounds very much, yeah, like a sea shanty, like kind of these Viking vibes that are popular right now. So I mean, comment, maybe I'll know by the time this comes out, or maybe the video will reveal, but what's going on in this video, guys? Leave a comment.
Low, sleeping in the cold below.
Our sailing ship is for the hard and the quick. We roll our load and go. There's a living to be made or there's hell to pay when you're sleeping in the cold below, below.
So Omar singing the solo one octave above what Jeff was doing. I think just up to E flat. That flat 6 in the G minor chord, a G minor scale. And then the whole group comes in and we get a nice blend of vowels. Right when they come in, it's on vowels, I think an ooh. And then we get a little bit of text from the background harmonies towards the latter half of Omar's solo. And Jeff also goes into a quick moving bass line. It was sustained earlier and then it moves into a quick something like that. And Lane just continuing to gradually rev up those drums.
For the hard and the quick, we roll our load and go. There's a living to be made or there's hell to pay when you're sleeping in the cold below, below. Sleeping in the cold below.
Hey, riff from Jeff. Whoa, whoa. Also, listen to that moving bass line from Jeff. I love it when Jeff... I love a lot of things about Jeff's voice. One of the things I love is when he really, basically acts like he's a bass guitar and does one of those, like one of those lines. So cool. And, not as obvious. You kind of got to be listening with headphones to hear Jeff at all when he's down there, just the way the song is EQ'd and audio engineering works. You only really obviously hear his big, beefy low notes. You kind of have to listen for the more subtle bass lines. But listen to this subtle bass line. It's pretty dope.
Below, sleeping in the cold below.
Our sailing ship is for the hard and the quick. We roll our load and go.
Right here.
There's a living to be made or there's hell to pay when you're sleeping in the cold below, below.
So I overhyped a little bit. There's kind of only one little run in that bass line. Then for the rest of the time, he is kind of sustaining at least for a few beats. But there's only that. It's like something like that.
The hard and the quick, we roll our load and go. There's a living to be made or there's hell to pay when you're sleeping in the cold below, below. Sleeping in the cold below.
Low. And I like how we get a little solo, a purely solo moment from Omar. So obviously he's singing the solo here, but then we get just a moment where nothing else is happening. It's just his voice.
Below, below, sleeping in the cold below.
So a full section of O's, and we have Jeff doing his own thing on the bass line, and we have the other guys, Ellie, Omar, Caesar, all doing harmonies on that whoa, whoa, whatever it is. And then we have Lane just shredding on drums, super crisp. Super crisp sounds from Lane. As always, he's such an incredible beatboxer. It's like whatever he's doing is absolutely world class. But that's basically what we have, like kind of three separate things going on. Lane, and this is often how it is, right? We have Lane doing Perk in his own world, sort of in combination with Jeff, right? Meat and potatoes. Usually that balances out. Usually the kick drums line up with the big bass hits. That works really well functionally from audio engineering and arrangement, whatever. And then, you know, the three boys in the middle doing some nice harmonies.
Sleeping in the cold below.
The bass and the drums cut out for that last whoa. Then it's just the harmony voices for that one little bit. I lied. Lane's still beatboxing. I think only the bass cuts out. Sisters
below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below. There's a man on high.
I really like it when we get teased by Jeff or another low bass singer, when they do a big descending line going down towards that low note, right, the bottom of the scale, and then they go away from it, so it just makes us want it more, and then usually they end up giving it to us in the next phrase. It's exactly what happened here. So, and I mean, my ear as a bass singer and someone who's always listening for the bass, like when I hear that descending line going down, I'm leaning further and further in, and it's like I just go tunnel vision on the bass line, because there's just something so magical and epic about getting that low bass note at the end. You've been waiting. I mean, just as a personal example, and the funny thing is it doesn't have to be that low. In an a cappella setting like this, it kind of does, because we're so used to really low notes. But I remember singing in chamber choir back in college, and I would sing like a low F. I'd sing something like that at the end of a piece, but and everyone in the choir would like turn around and be like, and I'm like, guys, it's really not that low. But because of the way these composers would write the song, you know, you'd be waiting for that low note and then finally get it at the end. That's something that's really wonderful about most choral music. Eric Whitaker, big shout out to Eric Whitaker, writes a lot of music like this. Nothing super, super low, but when you do get a low note, it's so sweet. I'll leave my full conversation with Eric Whitaker right here if you guys haven't seen that yet. So anyway, let's check out Jeff's bass line.
Sisters below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below.
So he like really stretches it out before we get that low G from him. Now let's see what else is going on. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I am going a little deeper into this, so I hope you guys are still enjoying. This is kind of fun to take a little more time and think about more of the elements. I feel like, you guys can let me know, I feel like with this group that's watching this video and other acapella stuff, I feel like you guys, like vocal nerds rise up, like you're down to really peel apart the arrangement and stuff. So if that's the case, let me know below.
Sisters below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below.
So Lane completely stops beatboxing that whole section. When we just have like this, we literally just have harmonies moving together this whole time, 4 of them. We have Ellie, Lane, Caesar, Omar, all doing harmonies, with Jeff doing the bass line, kind of doing his own thing. I think Jeff is still doing the text with them, right? Let's see.
Sisters below, below, we're going where the...
Yeah, so all 5 of them are doing the same text at the same rhythms. And we literally, technically we have a 5-part harmony, because the bass line is considered part of that harmony. So we have a 5-part harmony, no beatboxing, and no, bass line separate from the harmony, because they're all singing the same text. So we really just get a moving 5-part harmony for this whole section. You do not hear that very often, especially in these, 5-part a cappella groups where you have bass and drums usually kind of in their own world. It's kind of rare you hear a true 5-part harmony for a whole section.
Sisters below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below. There's a man on.
And what I want to flag about that is that's a nice, no, that's a very relaxed version of Jeff's G1, so it's very different color-wise from what we get when he does his more compressed mega bass G1s, like we heard earlier in the song. This one is much more of like a blending G1, and to my ear is about as low as Jeff can get fully relaxed, is about a G1 with morning voice or whatever. Usually for G1s, they're a little, they're compressed and extra powerful. But I think I've heard him on a number of occasions do a very relaxed G1, and I think that's about it. I think to go lower than that, he's got to push down there.
Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below. There's a man on high with the devil in his.
Really nice fill from Lane getting back into this section. So this is a great tool, you know, to transition back into what seems like the main part of the song. This seems like kind of like a little breakdown section. So it's nice to have a beatbox transition as opposed to just all the vocals completely change. It kind of serves as a little distraction, and you almost don't realize how radical the voice changes if you're paying attention to the perk. I'm producing a full album right now, and I mean, I'm using transitions like that all the time. So section to section, I'll have like a reverse symbol, you know, something that goes like shh, and so it kind of blends in with the shifting of the sections, and it's amazing how much just that little effect smooths out the transition between sections. Like, it requires more nuance and care, and there's tons of other things to consider that I'm not going to get into, but just doing that serves a lot to create a smooth transition from one section to the next. So smart of them to throw that in there.
In the cold below. There's a man on high with the devil in his eye and a golden hand, I'm told. It can hurt you, it can hold you, he can kick you or console you when you're sleeping in the cold below.
All right, arrangement's getting more complicated now. I also like how Caesar has two different fake contact lenses there, and he said devil in your eye or something, and he's got one eye one color, one guy a different color. That's a nice little nod to whatever they're going for. I still don't know.
Sleeping in the cold below. There's a man on high with the devil in his eye and a golden hand, I'm told.
We very much have bell tones in the background. And they're going, you know, all over the place. That's the thing about bell tones, is you'll have one voice, then another voice, then another voice, then another voice. And the whole background is currently bell tones.
And on high with the devil in his eye and a golden hand, I'm told. It can hurt you.
I think he was doing some relaxed low G1s there. Very much in coordination with Lane.
Below, sleeping in the cold below. There's a man on high with the devil in his eye and a golden hand, I'm told. It can hurt you, it can hold you, he can kick you or console you when you're sleeping in the cold below.
That's really cool. So for a second, they have on harmonies the three, Caesar, Ellie, Omar, all doing the same text, same rhythms, and then the solo returns back to just Caesar and the other two still doing harmonies, but at a different time. So the text delivery changes. They have like a delayed text delivery. Really, really cool and interesting.
Sleeping in the cold below. There's a man on high with the devil in his eye.
So bell tones, harmonies.
It can hurt you, it can hold you, he can kick you or console you when you're sleeping in the cold below. Oh, sisters below, below. We're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below. Sleeping in the cold below.
Nice little break there. But I want to flag. Ellie had a big belt earlier. I want to pitch that.
He can kick you or console you when you're sleeping in the cold below. Oh, sister.
High D. I think from Ellie here. Maybe from multiple of them. Sounds very, very chesty. Kind of as chesty as you can get on a note that high. It's very likely a really chest-dominant mix belt from Ellie there, but really solid. Really good vocal closure, really efficient. Would probably be a pretty loud sound in person, a relatively loud sound, you know, getting close to that kind of physiological yell. Really solid.
You all can show you when you're sleeping in the cold below. Below, sisters, below, below. We're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below.
Also, their three voices blend so well when they're on harmonies together. I'm sure they're intentionally blending a bit more. They do. Depending on what they're singing, it is possible for these three voices to sound relatively similar. But then, of course, when they're blending together, they're going to opt to kind of homogenize the colors of their voice to make for a better blend. That's what's so critical in a cappella music. But they just sound really good. It sounds really, really clean and crisp.
Stars below, below. We're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below.
Love that.
Sleeping in the cold below.
Listen to what, so as Jeff's bass line is going down, their three harmony parts are going up. I love that. That's just it's a really cool thing to do. You know, it's not the first time they've done this. It's a really good arrangement tool, but I haven't heard it in a while where it's Jeff descending and the other three people singing harmonies ascending.
Below, oh, sisters, below, below. We're going where the
Right here, ready? Jeff, go down.
Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below. Sleeping in the cold
Below. So that's another high D5 above tenor high C from Ellie with some nice rock grit in there.
below, below. Sleeping in the cold below. Sisters, below, below. We're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down.
Little different bass line from Jeff there. Instead of just going straight down to the G, doom, 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 he does a 1-5-1 down to the G after, you know, compared to what he was doing the first time. That's a little added bit.
Sleeping in the cold below. Sisters, below, below. We're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below. Sleeping in the cold below, below, below.
I'm waiting for it pops off. Notice what Lane's doing here. Lane's doing a really cool, more subdued version of his drums. He's taken out a lot of the high-hitting snares and pops and crashes like that, and he's just keeping it mainly in the kind of lower frequency territory, which kind of brings our energy level down, surely with the intention to blow it back up here, but pay attention to that.
We're all bound down to the deep, and we're going where the winds don't blow.
Ready?
Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep,
No
and we'll
snare.
all be sleeping in the
all
cold below, below. Sleeping in the cold below, below, below.
Sisters, you so.
Aeolian cadence, my favorite thing in the world. They went ba ba. Aeolian cadence, favorite thing in the world. It was not anywhere previously in the song. Don't you guys try to sneak that Aeolian cadence by me. I'll hear it every time. Listen to that. I love that. And also, they didn't go straight there. I think it went to like, let me see what it did first.
Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below. Sleeping in the cold below.
It did go there. Duh. So now they're in E flat major. They went from G minor to E flat major. G minor, E flat major. Nope. There it is. Sorry, that was clunky. I'm gonna shut up so you guys can hear it.
Below, sleeping in the cold below, below, below.
Sisters, you.
So I think when the screen turns red is when they hit that E flat, and then Da, 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 E flat major, F major, and then back to G minor.
Cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below.
Yes.
Below, below.
Sisters, you so wise and true, and it's my time to go. Won't you lay me down under granum crowns, and I'll be sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below.
Oh, a new sound effect from Lane. So we get this whole section. Geoff takes over the solo again. In the background, we have mostly ooze, I think. You know how well ooze blend. We love the ooze.
Below, sleeping in the cold below. Below, below.
Sisters, you so wise.
Oh, there was nothing for a split second, and then the ooze came in.
Sisters, you so wise and true, and it's my time to go. Won't you?
Down to just a low C, just a little low C from Geoff.
Lay me down under granum crowns, and I'll be sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below.
And then Lane's got this new sound effect I've never heard from him. That is the first time it has sounded really spacey. That's a very like alien kind of sound. Nice. So aside from Lane's drum fill there in the middle, this part is very much same to the first section we heard when you have Geoff pretty much on that G2, I think, and then the three guys in the middle, harmony is on, and then Lane doing his thing, but he added a cool little fill this time.
Sisters, below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all about.
So that's Omar up to a high D there, high D belt.
Below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold beat. Sisters, below.
They're good about giving whoever they bring on for the collaboration, Omar in this case, a little extra solo time, right? If you're going to feature someone, you want to give them a little extra solo time. So I like that they gave him a moment to exercise those really high belts.
Below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold beat. Sisters, below.
So 4-part harmony because Omar's doing his own thing, but Lane has stopped perking there as well.
Sisters, below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow.
It's 5-part because Omar does the harmony and then he jumps into his solo line. So we get it's going back and forth between 5 and 4-part harmony.
Sisters, below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold beat. Sisters, below.
I like how Geoff did that bass line an octave higher that time. Starting all the way up on a G3.
Below, we're going where the winds don't blow.
Right here.
Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold beat. Sisters, below, below, going where the winds don't blow. Yeah,
Okay, Geoff's moving around. He's doing some octave jumps. This is something they used to hear a lot in pentatonics arrangements with Avi. Avi was so good at making big, accurate jumps in his bass lines. And it's a great thing to do in the final chorus. Again, even if you don't really notice it or know what's happening, you'll feel a difference. But especially if you have headphones on, you'll notice the bass line. The bass line's different. The drums are a little different. Otherwise, it's not like this chorus is not like radically different from what we've heard before, but there are little changes, which is keeping it interesting.
Sisters, below, below, going where the winds don't blow. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below.
So So that's that motif we heard earlier with Jeff descending and the 3 harmonies ascending, except this time we have Ellie on an even higher harmony. All the way up to E flat, I believe.
Sisters below, below, going where the winds are the winds go. Yeah, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below. Sleeping in the cold, sleeping in the cold below.
I totally didn't mean to pause there right in the middle. I'm so sorry. Let's go back and listen to that again. All the way up to G5 from Ellie. There are a couple other little things I wanted to flag before we wrap it up. That at the sustain and then waiting for the other voices to jump on. That's a new thing we haven't heard. Really, really nice adjustment here. That's a really, really excellent ending to this song, where we get the highest we ever heard the voices on these big, sustained power belt harmonies, and we get Jeff going all the way down to a low G once more. Yeah. Oh, let's see what they got here. That studio. Gosh, it's so sick. Alrighty. There it is, guys. Full, it was like a 2-minute and 40-second song, and I've now taken 32 minutes on this analysis. So I hope you guys enjoyed diving a little bit deeper. This was fun for me. I didn't feel like I had to rush through anything. Not totally exhaustive, but definitely more detailed than I have been going. If you guys enjoyed, please consider joining my Patreon for as little as $0 per month. You can actually join for free and see what's going on, and then to get benefits starting at $1 a month. Please do like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment for the algorithm. Could be anything. Jeff rules. Ellie's high notes are awesome. Yay. Omar. Doesn't matter. Good for the algorithm. Hit the bell. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you all for the support over the last 2.5 years. It's been a very fun journey. And happy to be back with VoicePlay. Peace out.